So good evening, everybody. It's my Tyler here at Red Barn Productions, and when it comes to politics, I have an opinion on a lot of things, and I try not to voice it. But there's just been several stories in the news today that just really ticked me off. A couple of them were funny. We'll get to those in a minute. But the first one was Trump's physical revealed serious heart concerns outside, experts say. What experts? I've watched the news covering the report. I've seen the reports online. Trump's actually in pretty good health for his age. Right now they're talking about his LDL cholesterol level is at a level 143. Blah, 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 blah. Here's the thing. It's not considered high until it's 190 or higher. Go look it up. You know, everybody's got to have an opinion. And the thing about the story that bothered me is the fact that mainstream media thought that this was newsworthy. They'll take a gram of fact and cover it in 10 pounds of opinion and try to pass that off as news. And mainstream America's tired of it. We're tired of it. That's why Trump keeps blasting mainstream media for their fake stories, because they'll take just this much truth and completely cover it in personal opinion and try to pass that off as fact, and it's not. And it's not news. I'm not even gonna get started on it. It just makes my blood boil. Here's another one that pissed me off. A death sentence. Palestinians slammed the U.S. decision to cut aid as UN pleads for new donors. Hold on a minute. It's donations. It's a contribution. It's charity. And we've been, last year we gave $350 million. This year we're giving $60 million. And here's the thing, people, that's money that should be spent at home first. You know, as a human being, we as society strive to help others. We do what we can. But at the end of the day, nobody owes you nothing. It's up to you to stand up and make it. It's all right to, you know, there's no shame in asking for a little help. Saying, hey man, I got a problem. Can you help me out here? Especially if you're like, hey, I've got a problem. I need a job. Something like, you know, we've all been there. I'm there right now. But you don't slam and criticize the people that are it's charity. We gave you $60 million, and you're gonna slam us and talk trash. How about we just keep the $60 million too? You know, a lot of people get mad at Trump, or they get mad at us conservatives. But it's stories like this that has all of us tired of the way things are in the world. You know, we're tired of everybody sitting there with their hand out, looking for something for free. Nothing's free in this world. Trust has to be earned. You see where I'm going with this. I think the only thing that's really free is the mother's love. And you know, it doesn't cost me anything to love you. Sometimes it costs me, on a personal level, like, you know, I might love you and you don't love me back, or you dump me for somebody else, blah, blah, but it's not the same thing. But the reality is that there's nothing really free in this world. That all comes with some kind of a cost. Let me pull up Twitter. I'm not monitoring Twitter at the second, so I guess I ought to pull that page up so I can see if anybody comments. I apologize. Earlier I did a video and we had no audio. Hopefully I've got the problem fixed. Here's one that's funny. Let's pull this up. For those of you who missed it, somebody's trying to let's see if I can find it. New California declares independence from California and bid to become 51st state. Basically, the conservatives who live in the yellow area here are wanting to become a separate state from the liberals who live in the blue areas here. And what they said was the current state of California has become governed by tyranny. After years of taxation, regulation, and monoparty politics, the state of California and many of its 58 counties have become ungovernable. I kind of agree with them on most of that. The decline in essential basic services, including education, law enforcement, infrastructure, and health care. California is a state ran by liberals. And I mean extreme liberals. And they have, don't get me wrong, sometimes they've got great ideas, but the problem is they'll pass these ideas into law without figuring out how they're going to pay for it, how they're going to fund it. And they keep going farther and farther and farther into debt. Puerto Rico did the same thing. Puerto Rico has been poorly ran for years. Well, let's talk about Puerto Rico, because right now the big thing is like, I think the last was 100 days and still no electricity. Here's the thing, before the hurricane ever hit Puerto Rico, the common consensus is if the grid ever went down, it would take at least a year to fix it before the hurricane just wiped it off the face of the earth. That's a fact. Go look it up. So 100 days later, that they act like it's some big surprise that there's a huge portion of Puerto Rico that doesn't have electricity. Those of us that knew what shape the grid was in aren't surprised. And neither are a lot of Puerto Ricans, believe it or not. Because they're looking out where power lines used to be and there's nothing there. So they realize that, yeah, they've got a problem. It's not going to be fixed in one day or 1 week or 1 month or 6 months. They've literally got to basically rewire the whole state, the whole country, the whole island. Use some common sense, people. And they don't have the ability to have help drive in from the neighboring states to bring in, it's not like you can just dump in your truck and run over there with a trailer load of supplies. Ain't happening. It's an island in the ocean. It's just a crying shame that a lot of people weren't paying attention before the hurricane hit, because the problems that Puerto Rico was going to be facing if that hurricane hit, people were already talking about it. There's no easy solution. People are getting mad and hollering. You can't expect the government to drop everything that's going on in the rest of the world to go fix Puerto Rico's problems. I know that sounds harsh, but you've got to realize we've got commitments all over the world. Obligations that are involved with peace agreements and treaties and stuff that we're committed to doing, that we have to do to uphold our end of the bargains that we've made over the last 200 years. And we can't just drop all of it to go take care of Puerto Rico. And I honestly think that Puerto Rico, they're getting quite a bit of help. Don't get me wrong, they're getting a lot more help than the mayor of San Juan was giving us credit for it. I know that for a fact because I had some friends go to Puerto Rico. On top of that, I follow a lot of organizations that are working in Puerto Rico, so I know what's actually going on there, and it's a shame that all that's not getting covered in the news. I wish, we've talked about it before, I wished I had the money to put together a crew. I would go cover it and document it and show people what's actually going on in Puerto Rico. Not just part of it, all of it, the good and the bad. I don't want to present just one side of a story. I want to look at that story all the way around. And that's how news used to be. It's not that way anymore. Now they just like, whatever angle that they're looking for, that's the angle they present the story from. Politics in the news, pretty much. But I did think that this did bring a chuckle to me when I seen this, because the reality is it's not going to happen. They're not going to become 2 states. It's been tried before, several times. But it did make me chuckle because I can understand the frustration. But this one just really bugged me because it was just just blatantly an opinion piece, and right here where it says, here's the headline. They do it. Somewhere right here in big bold letters it needs to say opinion piece because it's not news. We used to call these fluff pieces. I don't know if many of y'all remember that. It was just crap, fluff, sensationalism. For those of you that don't know, Donald Trump is 71 years old. He's 6 foot, 2.59 inches tall, and weighs 239 pounds. His blood pressure was like really good. I should have pulled that chart up because there was a whole deal that covered his health and stuff. But the main gist of it was on this was he has 140. His LDL is 143, and they were carrying on like that's the end of the world, and that he was going to fall over dead any minute, and the doctor that examined him, he was a liar. Blah blah. No, that doctor's not a liar. He just presented the facts and voiced his opinion based on said facts because he looked at all the facts. That's called an educated opinion. And all these other doctors right here that are voicing their opinion in here, your opinion is meaningless if you haven't examined Trump and given him a thorough physical, etc., etc., etc. That's the reality of it. As far as the BMI index, that thing is a joke. Do you know what the BMI index says Trump should weigh at 6'3"? It says he should be somewhere between 148 and 200 pounds at 6'3". At 6'3" and as large frame as he is, 148 pounds, he would be anorexic. The maddest I ever got in my life, I think we've talked about this in other broadcasts. For those of you that don't know, I'm 6'1", and I weigh 175 pounds. Back when I was 35, I weighed 107. I had a 29-inch waist and a 54-inch chest, 18-inch arms, and a 17.5-inch neck. I wasn't a bodybuilder, but I was extremely healthy. I worked extremely hard, and I was in really good shape. Keep in mind, I had a 29-inch waist. Let me stand up. I don't know if you can see me on the camera or not. Let's step back over here a little bit. And I got just a little bit of a gut, but it's not real big. And I had to go to the doctor, and I was sitting there looking as he was writing on my chart, and he put down on my chart that I was morbidly obese. I have never been so mad in all my life. 10 minutes after he put morbidly obese on my chart, he should have been putting, had anger problems, because I went off on his ass and let him know that he was full of shit. I know a lot of people that would have killed to been in the shape that I was at that time. They don't realize that muscle is a lot heavier than fat. And I'm still no slouch. But I'm getting old. I'm nothing like I was when I was 35. When I was 35 years old, if you was driving a Ford Tempo or whatever, and you pissed me off, I could turn it over on its roof. No problem. I know. Because I did. Oh. I am checking up on the comments. Unfortunately, I can't see your comment the second you make it, but it'll pop up in the notifications, and then I'll check it out and I'll answer you. And I guess I could come over to YouTube. But anyway, just been a lot of crazy stuff going on in the news, and I wish people would put their foot down and say, hey, you know, this isn't what we want, you know. But mainstream media is going to keep on doing stuff like that for ratings. Apparently, a lot of America really is they don't care about substance. They're perfectly fine getting fluff pieces with opinion and that being called news. One of the things that also bothered me about this is the fact that they wasted all this time. I'm wasting time on it now covering it because it just bugs me. You know, there's a lot of other things in the world that we could be reporting on that's actual news. We've got people that are hungry and starving, got health issues, you know, real problems going on in the world, and they're going to report this as news. As bad as this is right here, it's still news. But I do want to point out to those of you in Palestine that are talking shit about America tonight because we didn't give you $350 million. It's not our responsibility. It's yours. It's your country. Of course, as good neighbors, if there's something to do to help, we will. But to sit there and think that we owe you, no, because that's the way it comes across. You know, we gave you $60 million. Well, actually, $60 million went to the UN to help Palestine. For those of you that don't know, we've been given $350 million a year for several years, and Trump cut that back. And I agree with him. I agree with him. I'm sorry, and there's going to be a whole lot of people pissed off and disagree with me. But we've got problems right here in America that we need to take care of first. You know, the church will tell you that you're obligated to take care of your own home first, your own house, and then you help your neighbor. Because here's the reality. If you can't help yourself, you can't help anybody else. I've learned that lesson the hard way. I used to run a pay it forward program. I still do, but I've had to shut everything down because I've ran myself into the poorhouse that I can't even pay my bills. So if I can't take care of my bills, well, how can I help somebody else? I can't. And the same thing applies to America as a whole. If we can't take care of our people and solve our problems, how can you expect us to take care of yours? You stop and think about that. And we've covered it in the Code Up live stream. But for those of you that don't know, YouTube is canceling a lot of channels' monetization rights. You know, their partner program. I got my email yesterday, about 4 hours before the news broke. I'll pull that up. I may have deleted it already. Hold on here. Oh, here it is. They mentioned my channel specifically because I am part of the partner program. I'm not part of the preferred, but this applies to all of us. No. Under the new eligibility requirements announced today, your YouTube channel, PowerStorm Records, is no longer eligible for monetization because it doesn't meet the new threshold of 4,000 hours of watch time within the past 12 months and 1,000 subscribers. So I will beg you, if you're over here on YouTube, please click that subscribe button. If you're on Twitter, please click that follow button. I don't like, but 38 more subscribers and I'll have 1,000 subscribers. Unfortunately, I only had 172,000 minutes last year. For those of you that don't know, 4,000 hours is 240,000 minutes. So I was 70... I don't know, I'd have to get a calculator, I'm tired. So it's like, I knew last night, something like 76,000 people short, something like that, I can't remember. Or 76,000 minutes, I should say. And what pissed me off about this is I just got a little minor endorsement deal for a camera to use here in the studio that would let me film in 4K, true 4K. And I was just, it's been a rough year. 2017 sucked. It kept kicking me in the nuts. I'm still here, but anyway, I've got a camera that'll do video in 4K. That'll be here Friday if the weather doesn't hold it up, and it's not like I made a lot of money off YouTube. I made $130 last year, so I wasn't getting rich. But I've been trying to devote more time to my video on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, and trying to pay more attention to that aspect. It's just hard to do on a regular basis when I cannot compete with these young people that are eating soap pods. That's not my that's not my thing. Okay, I'm not gonna get out there and kill myself to try to make an entertaining video. I want it to be a good video. I want it to have some depth and some substance. I'd like to have more. I'd actually like to have other people in the video and me just do the production. But unfortunately, I'm stuck with doing all of it for now. I am looking for a full-time job for anybody out there that needs somebody that's hardworking and educated and experienced in various fields. I was management for Pizza Hut for many years, and then I ran a car lot for 12 years. I was a truck driver for 10 years, and I've been in video and audio production for the last 7+ years. I'm a voting member of the Grammys. I've got 105+ credits on IMDb for various things, mostly production, a few acting parts. The problem is nobody wants to hire somebody that's been self-employed for 18 years, 17 years. Because when they're like, can we talk to your previous employer? I'm like, you're looking at him. I actually applied for a job at Olive Garden as a dishwasher. And let me tell you about that fiasco. The guy posted on Facebook, on the Olive Garden page, that they were hiring all positions, and to contact and message him to set up an appointment. So I did. And he told me to meet him the next morning at 11:30 a.m. at the unemployment office to fill out an application and do an interview. So I got there at 11, and he ended up being a no-show. I was there 2.5 hours, and finally I just went to the Olive Garden and met him at Olive Garden and filled out the little application and did a little impromptu interview. And he asked me, and keep in mind, he's a nice gentleman. He's 21 years old, and he goes, "Why Olive Garden?" And I looked at him and I grinned and I said, "Look, I'm applying for a dishwashing job, so let me just be straight up honest with you." I said, "I had just sat down at my desk to start job hunting when your post popped up in my news feed, and I thought, why the hell not?" I said, "Because when I was young, every time my wife got pregnant, I took a second job working in the fast food and restaurant business, and some of that was as a dishwasher. And I've got no problem washing dishes to help pay the bills." And he acted like that wasn't the answer he was looking for. I think the answer he was looking for is, it's been my lifelong dream to go to work for Olive Garden as a dishwasher. It was just, I'm sorry, it's a dishwashing job. Nobody wakes up when they're 6 years old and says, "I want to be a dishwasher at Olive Garden. That's going to be my lifelong dream." But if that's the answer he was expecting, that is not the one he got. I'm blessed that I've actually got to do my dream. You know, I never did get to make it to the moon. I didn't become an astronaut, but I've done everything else just about. I've been an actor. I've been a musician. I've been up on stage performing. I'm working in audio production. I'm working in video production. I'm a voting member of the Grammys. That's a lot to be proud of right there. I've accomplished a lot with nothing, and I'm proud of it. I don't have any regrets. Right this minute, my dream is getting a job and paying the bills and staying in business. Because Red Barn Productions, as long as I'm able, will always be here. Even if I work for somebody else, I'll still be doing audio production and video production on my days off or whatever. That will never change. The only thing that will change is I'll have some more money and I can afford to do a better job when it comes to stuff like this. I can have a crew. We can be covering cool stuff if we ever figure out what cool is. Right? Now, unfortunately, I'm not over on Periscope. For those of you on Periscope, Periscope gives me fits when I'm doing live streams. So if you want to comment and interact in the conversation, you'll either have to come over here to this Twitter page right here, which is just put twitter.com/Vitali_Justice, and this is the video right here, and you can comment right here. Or you can come over to my YouTube channel and click on the live stream. I will mention that I finally did get a plug-in for YouTube. Y'all got to forgive me, I got a hair on my nose that's been bugging me. And naturally, it starts bugging me right in the middle of the live stream. I don't want to look like I'm sitting there picking my nose, because I'm not. It's just... I got a plug-in for YouTube. I just haven't installed it yet. They still do not have one for Twitter. or Periscope. And I think it's, see, I can stream to Twitter, or actually I have to go to Periscope, and then Periscope streams it to Twitter. But I can stream directly to YouTube and directly to Facebook and Twitter at the same time. I can stream to multiple sites at the same time, as whatever my computer will handle and my bandwidth will allow. Unfortunately, I don't have a screen capture set up, or I'd show you. But right this minute, I'm streaming to YouTube and Twitter at the exact same time. Earlier, I was doing YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at the same time. I'm one of the few people in my area that can do that without having to use an aggregator service like Livestream or something like that. And trust me, Livestream is extremely expensive. I got people calling me every day wanting to know how I stream to Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at the exact same time without using another service. I'm not going to tell you all my secrets. Anyway, if you've got anything interesting that you want to talk about, or something that you saw, message me, and we'll get into the next live stream. This is Vitaly here at Red Bar Productions, and y'all have a good night.